it is related to risk again. So now what is risk? We have already covered the definition of the risk under the foreign exchange. Okay, so risk is probability of loss. So that there is probability of loss due to what? Due to the uncertainties. Due to the uncertainties, and bank is filled up with the uncertainties, because in the case of banking, when you're lending to some person, it may be the case that the person will be defaulting the money and will not be repaying it back. So that is where there is credit risk, and accordingly, if you have invested your money in the market, if you have invested your money in the market, it may be the case that you are not able to get the required rate of return. So that is basically the interest rates. It may be also possible that there is interest rate movement in the market, that is basically quantify to what? That will quantify the interest rate risk and the market risk. And further, if you are unable to liquidate your securities in the market, that will be the liquidity risk. And further, if there is mismatch, then that will be the mismatch risk. So there are certain type of risks which are over there, and it is not the case that only and only single variant of the risk is there. Multiple variants of the risks can coexist. Okay, so let us take a simple example related to it. In a simple case of trading business, there could be variation in sales volume, and further there could be variations related to the unit price listed. So if you have purchased a scrip for rupees 20, let us take the case that you purchased a unit share for rupees 20, and now this particular price of the share that you purchase for rupees 20 is now listed at rupees 18 due to the market movements. So that would be basically what? That is the risk related to this particular issue. Okay, so there are basically uncertainties related to the cash inflows. Uncertainty in the purchase price, and further there are uncertainties on other costs also that may be related with the expected cash outflows. Okay, so there are uncertainties in both cash outflows and cash inflows that would basically result in uncertainty in the net flow of the profit. So that can affect the profits adversely. Okay, so the risk is there. When we say risk, it is basically related to the possibility of the loss or probability of loss. Okay, so we are considering the adverse effect of the movements. So we are saying it is interest rate risk. We are considering that there is a probability that if the prices of the interest rates go down, it may impose a risk factor on that. It can basically reduce our earnings. Okay, so we are basically concerned with the uncertainties. Okay, so concerned with the uncertainties which may be having the adverse impact on our net earnings, that is basically related to the risk over there. Okay, so there are uncertainties associated with the risk element. So whenever we say the risk element means the different financial instruments or different financial parameters related to it. Okay, so that is basically the different risk elements are having the uncertainties associated with it. Okay, and now those can impact the net cash flow. Of any business or investment. So if you have invested a sum of money into some investment, if you have invested a sum of money and further there is interest rate movement and you're not able to make out the profit out of it as it was estimated. Let us take the case that you invested the money for a period of 5 years, and further you invested 1 lakh rupees, and you basically estimated that the profit would be of 48,000, and at the end of 5 years you'll be getting 1,48,000. But there were adverse movements. And that impacted your profitability. So whatsoever factors impacted your profitability, because they were having the uncertainty. So in the case of the risk elements, those are always having the uncertainty factor associated with them, and that particular factor can impact the net cash flow of the business and the investment, and that is basically quantifies to be the risk. Okay, so under the impact of uncertainties, variations in the net cash flow take place. So when there are uncertainties, variation in the net cash flows takes place. So variability in the net cash flow would be high in some cases. So in some cases the variability is high. So let us take the case of the two companies. So company A is a reputed company and company B is a not a non-company. It is basically related to, it has issued secured bonds. So let us take the case, it has issued the secured bonds, and further it has issued the junk bonds. Now junk bonds are those bonds on which you earn high yield. Okay, so in the case of the secured bonds, the return provided by the company A is equal to 8%. It is basically compounds to 8%, whereas in the case of the junk bonds, the rate of interest, or we can say the return quantifies to 21%. 21%. Okay, so now let us take the case, the company A is providing us return of 8%, whereas the company B is providing us a return of 21%. Definitely we will be choosing the 21%. Okay, that may be come across your mind now, that you will be going for 21%. You want to earn higher, but you must also be looking at the same time that those are in basically same economy, those are coexisting in the same economy. Then why company B is offering that much particular return? So in case you want to get higher return, there is always higher risk associated with it. There is higher risk associated with it. So if you are going to invest in company B, you must be taking in that thing in mind, that is not that much secured. It is not that much secured, because if it is unsecured, only then it is offering higher rate of return. Okay, so that is basically the rule based upon that. So higher the risk, higher the return you get, higher the risk, higher the return you get. And also there is a definition, also there is a correlation relatedly, that the variability of the net cash flows is higher where higher risk is associated, there are higher chances of high losses, and that particular case they will be offering you higher returns also, so higher the risk, higher the profitability, but higher the losses could also be there. Okay, so variability in net cash flows would be high in some cases, and it may result in high profits, and in adverse situations higher losses would be there. Okay, so if someone is saying you that they are going to pay you a very good deal, it means they are going to invest their money in some portfolio which is having high variabilities. That is why they are going to earn that much amount. Otherwise the company A could invest in the same fields and could get you back with the same returns. Okay, why it is not doing so? Because they want to have a stability. So company A is having what? They are having lesser fluctuations, or we can say they are having lesser variations, whereas the company B over here is having higher variations. So now the company with the higher variations, there could be higher profits and also there could be higher losses. In the case of the company A over here, there are lesser profits, but also there will be lesser losses in the adverse situation. Are you getting my point? Okay, so that is basically related to the uncertainty and the variability. And similarly, if variability, we have considered already that part, that if variability in net cash flow is lower, so if the variability in the net cash flow is lower, it is not that much steep, in that case there will be lower profits and also there will be lower losses in the case of the adverse conditions. Now where there is higher variability, they also require higher capital. So there are 2 points that we have covered so far. First of all, if it is related to higher the risk, higher the return, and also higher could be the losses in the case of adverse conditions. Okay, that is the first thing that we covered. Second, it is related to what? It is related to higher the variability, higher is the capital need, so as to cover up those losses. Okay, so higher the variability, higher the capital need that someone required. Okay, so higher risk would imply higher upside and downside potential. Now what is upside and downside potential? So there are two parts. One, it is that if we are on the zero part, it may be the case that we can go higher on the positive side. It may be the case that also we can go on negative side with the same quantum. Okay, so let us take the case that we are offering profits of 10%. And also there could be the case that we may face the losses up to 10%. Okay, so that is basically what that is related to upside potential, where we are making money, and downside potential, where we are losing money. Okay, so that is basically related to that. In the case of the zero risk, that would imply there will be no variation in the net cash flow. In the case of the zero risk, when we say zero risk condition, it means there is no variation in the net cash flow. Is that clear? Okay, then after that, it is related to the risk, capital and return. So business with large variation means higher risk is associated. So if I say large variations are there, it means higher the variation and higher the losses, and higher the loss probability, and higher the loss probability. And also they will be requiring what? They will be requiring a higher capital. So capital requirement will also be higher. So that is basically related to risk, capital and return. Okay, so the profit potential and the lost possibilities would be higher in the cases of the business where they are having the higher variabilities of the net cash flows, and also the capital requirements would be higher because of the possibilities of the higher losses, because there is possibility of the high loss. So they do require, so such kind of businesses in which higher variations are there, they do require higher capital also. They do require higher capital also. And also in the case of the businesses which are having lower variations, there will be lower profits and also possibility of the lower losses. Okay, and also they will be requiring lower capital. The capital requirement would be lower because of the lower losses, because of the possibilities of the lower losses. Okay, then after that it is related to where we compare two investment options. So let us take the case that you are to compare two investment options. Let us take the case that you are to compare the two investment options. You are having investment 1 and investment 2 over here. Okay, in case of the investment 1, you're basically going to compare it with the investment 2. So you will not be able to infer the right situation. Because you are not taking into account the risk factor associated with it. Okay, so if you're taking into the only and only return, if you're taking in account only and only the return that we are getting. Okay, so let us take the case where we have invested in company A, which is giving us the 8% of return, and in case of the company B, which is giving us 21% of the return, and we are on the investment of rupees 1 lakh each. Whether we are invest rupees 1 lakh in company A or in company B, in case of company A will be getting return of 8%, whereas in the case of the company B will be getting the return of 21%. Okay, so now in that particular case we will be investing in definitely in company B, because we are not considering the risk factor over here. So we cannot basically compare the two investments if we do not take into the account the risk factor associated with it. Okay, so the comparing the return on investment may not lead us to a correct conclusion, as the risks associated with these investments may differ. We are not considering it. I already told you the fact that higher the return, higher the risk associated with it. Okay, I already told you the fact, but you are not considering it. If you still go for the company B, it means you are not dealing in with the risks over there. You are not taking into account the risk factor over there, and we cannot basically infer a proper conclusion in that particular case. Okay, now let us take the case of the RAROC. Now what is RAROC? RAROC is risk adjusted return on capital. It is risk adjusted return on capital. Okay, so you are getting return on capital, but also it is adjusted to the risk you are taking. Okay, so that is what? That is RAROC. So RAROC takes into account the different risks associated with the investment. So first of all, we will be identifying and quantifying that what type of risks are associated with it, and further we will try to basically price it actually. Okay, based upon that. So RAROC is what? RAROC takes into account the different risks associated with the investment. So in the same case, we are saying that investment 1 is there and investment 2 option is there, and further in the case of RAROC, we will be considering the different risks associated with these two investments, and it would be desirable to take into account the risks as well. So it is very much desirable so as to compare these two investments. So if I want to compare the two investments, I must be able to foresee the risk involved in those particular investments. Okay, so returns net of risk would be proper basis of comparing the investments. Okay, so if I'm comparing the two investments based upon the RAROC, that would be a proper comparison. The risk adjusted return happens to be the key factor in investment decisions by the investors. So if you are an investor and you are wittier enough, in that particular case you will be considering the RAROC, that is risk adjusted return on capital, on the different investments. Then you will be comparing it, and then you will be inferring the conclusion related to that, in what particular investment you are to invest. Okay, and further, higher the RAROC, higher is the reward to the investors or shareholders, and more preferable such investment would be to the market. Is that clear? So if the RAROC in the case of the investment one is, let us take the case, it is 7.8%, and RAROC where the investment, where the return was, actual return was 8%, and for the return was 21%, but the risk adjusted return in the case of investment one, it is 7.8%, and in the case of investment two, it is a 6.5%. You will choose which one? You will be choosing the return, actual return of 21% or RAROC of 6.5%. You will be looking at the RAROC. So higher the RAROC, you will be picking up the investments as per that particular criteria. Okay. And further, the return on equity fails to capture risks in the revenue model, and therefore it is not quite reliable tool in investment decision making. Okay, so return on equity, basically return on equity is what? Equity is what? Basically shareholders equity. So whatsoever investments have been made by the owner. So let us take the case of the public limited company who has basically raised the capital from the public itself. In that particular case, the shares have been allotted and the capital has been raised. So that will basically quantifies to what? That will quantifies to the shareholders equity. That will quantifies to the shareholders equity. Now in the case of the shareholders equity, whatsoever profit we are generating investing this particular term, it is basically what? It is the return on equity. It is a return on equity. And what is return on investments? What is return on investment? It is related to what? It is related to return on total capital employed. It is related to the return on total capital employed. It may be the case that you have taken the different loans from the bank or different loans from the investors over there, and further you have invested that much amount into the company itself, that much amount to the business itself, so as to earn the profits. So that those two terms are different, but quantifies to be the same when we are basically considering the different point, because in both these terms, whether it is related to the return on investment or whether it is related to the return on equity, you are not basically considering the risk adjusted rate of return on requirement. You are not basically considering the RAROC. Okay, so that is the case. So return on equity fails to capture the risk, because in both the cases we are not capturing the risk. So that is not the right tool. So as to make the investment decisions. Okay,